Hey, everybody, it is Tuesday, so it is time for Ascend Academy. Tonight, we have Alex. I feel like Alex doesn't even need an introduction, you guys. Alex is talking tonight on being you in your business, right? Or did you change it? Are you changing
No,
it? Oh, we're good
no,
with that topic?
no.
Okay. All right, good, because I didn't clarify the topic with him. I mean, that's what he said he was going to talk about, but I didn't clarify that. So I'm gonna, if you don't know Alex, you will after tonight. He and Megan are a power team couple, and they work their business together and are amazing. So I'm gonna spotlight you, and the floor is yours.
Awesome, awesome. So I do want to give a full disclosure. One, you might see a mess in the background. It's fine. Everything's okay. Going through orders right now. Second thing is sometimes I can be what they call offensive. Sometimes I say things that people don't agree with. So if you don't have thick skin, tonight might not be your night to watch. I try to make things funny as possible. But my real intention is to hopefully allow you to get something out of this training. And my battery is on 20%. Let's see if I can get through this with 20% of my battery.
You're never going to get through this with 20%.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I will. So it's good to see a bunch of familiar faces, some that I haven't seen in a while. I'm just going to scroll through here because I want to see who's on. Awesome, awesome. And I will say that I really do appreciate y'all coming on because I know how sometimes it's hard for me to even jump on training. So I just wanted to start out. I chose this topic because I really do believe that everybody's business has to be different. And if it's not unique to you and different from everybody else, then we all start looking like that stereotypical pyramid multi-level marketing company, right? And it happens a lot of times when we get news articles that come out, and in a 20-mile radius of myself, I have an an SD, I have another director, and there's like 200 consultants. If we are all posting the same exact things and we're all doing the same thing, there's nothing unique about our business. And if we're all posting the same exact things, the same exact verbiage, the same emoji in the same spot, we basically look like Cincy gave us a script, and Lord knows that they don't, unless you read a news article and copy and paste that word for word. But it looks like Cincy gave us a script and told us to go and post this to your social media. And that is something that I hate. I want to make sure that everybody understands that if you do that, if you are posting what everybody else is posting, you're probably not going to see a return on any of your posts. It's a return on investment because your time that you spend is an investment into this. Every minute that you work, you should be paying yourself for. So at the end of the month, if you have 50 PRV, okay, and you're a certified consultant, my brain doesn't work right now with math, y'all. If you have 100 PRV, you're a certified consultant, and you're making $25 for the month. If you worked 10 hours, then you just made $2.50. And maybe that 10 hours, an hour, and maybe that 10 hours that you worked, you spent half the time just copy and pasting somebody else's things on your business page. Here's the issue. One, you only made $2.50 an hour. Two, there's nothing unique about what you're posting. You're just copying and pasting other people's stuff, and it doesn't make your page stand out above anybody else's. So I'm going to try to give you some tips that hopefully everybody can do and follow. So here's my first one that I'd like you to do is write 3 things that you believe that you are good at. 3 things. I don't see anybody. I see people knitting. I see people eating. I see people chewing gum. I don't see anybody writing. All right. Now I see some people. She's like, I'm going to stop knitting. Hopefully you're making me a hat for this bald head. All right. So write 3 things that you know that you are good at. And with those 3 things, this is what I want you to think about. Those three things, each of those, and it has nothing to, it could be nothing to do with your business. It could be that you're a great parent. Okay. Take those three things that you already know that you're good at and apply that towards your post, not just your business in general, but just your post that you're making on social media right now. Take those three things and put those three things into the way that you're packaging your orders right now. Take those three things and apply those three things to the way, honestly, you're just running your business. Somebody put patient, good mom, and kind, which I love. So patience in this business, you have to have patience because y'all, I've had huge PRV months and then I have this month, right? Like numbers were through the roof. I'm talking about just mega sales. And then like this month for us, it's a super low month, the lowest we've ever done, but I'm still following my same script that I normally follow. And I know I have to change some things up, but my dog, sorry, she got me distracted back there. She's barking. I use the basically three of my morals and values that I live by, which is giving back to other people when I can, treating everybody equally and fairly, and just being a good person. And those are three things that I teach my kids, and I really focus on, and I try to focus on in our business as well. And so talking, helping, and caring, communication's key. But sorry, my dog's got me off track. But with the three things that I kind of live by and I feel that I'm good at, I run our business that way. And those three things never change within my business. So those are the things that will never change. Like, I know that these are three good things. Now, are those things going to go up and down? Yeah, I may not be able to give as much as I want to. I may not be able to, donate as much as I want to, but I know I'll always treat everybody fairly. Like, those are things that the balance may get off a little bit, but it's fine. But I try to push those into our business, and I even push that into our kids because I want them to grow up and learn and know how to run a business and be successful business owners one day. I never want them to work for anyone. Like, that is one of my life goals, is to make sure that my kids never work for anyone else but themselves. But so you have those three things that you're good at, write them down. And in the next week, just try to run your business, whether it's your social media, whether you're sending text messages out through communications, try to take those three things that you're good at and put them into your business, because you already know that you're good at those things. So why try to recreate the wheel, right? You're good at those principles. You're good at those three things. Make those your three of your principles that you run your business by. And if somebody says, well, how can I make being a mom, a good mom or a good dad, how can I make that into something that benefits my business? If you're taking care of your kids and you're treating your kids right, they normally listen to you, right? If you aren't lying to them, if you're being truthful to them, they normally, when they get older, they listen to you and they respect you. Your customers are going to do the same thing. Next thing I want to tell you, everybody has Facebook, right? Raise your hand if you have Facebook, just a show of hands if you have Facebook. I'm scrolling right now. Some of y'all are frozen. Some of y'all's frozen face, not Karen Fetty's, but look at the other Karen's frozen face. Look at her. It's so cute, but she's frozen right now. All right, I'm looking for hands. Cool. Karen with the frozen face, you're still frozen. Your camera's gone now. Anyways, all right, next thing I want you to do, raise your hand if you follow at least 3 SSDs or 3 SDs or 5 directors, or at least in Facebook total, at least 20 people that you currently follow are Scentsy consultants. All right. Okay. If you are currently following all these SSDs, I would like you to do something. Stop following them, because the things that they can do may be your goals, but a lot of things that they do, y'all, I hate to say this, but for you and your business, it's not going to work. Maybe when they started their business, the way they started up, but some of the things that they do isn't actually, you're not going to be able to do when you're first starting a business. You have to build the clientele, you have to build the teams that they've built, and they will gladly give you tips and help you along the way. But when you see them sending out this mail and it's $30 worth of free product, and you're a star consultant, you can't afford that, because if you were to do that, guess what? $30 plus the shipping, you've eaten up your commission if you're doing that to 3 people who just joined club. So I want you to think about that. Go through your Facebook, and these people who do have some great ideas, I use it as motivation, what I can do one day. Yes, which is good. But there's a lot of people who are out there who see those people and they're basing their business off of what other people are doing. I'm not sending $30 worth of product. I don't know. There's some people out there that will. Karen, and I used to follow those people and I no longer do. And it made me a better business person because I didn't have to compare what other people were doing. And so I deleted those people. Some of them are actually no longer with the company. And I think part of that is like setting unrealistic expectation to their customers too. One thing that Karen's always told us was that do what you would do for one person. If your team, especially with teams, and this is another thing, if you see these directors or star directors or SSDs who are sending out, hundreds of packages that are $40 worth each, or they're $50 gift cards. I've seen that. You don't have to do those things. Like, do what you're able to do. But I found that once I eliminated a lot of people, honestly, even within the company, I only focused on the things and the people that I had ideas and like mindsets with. If I didn't feel that I shared the same morals and values, or those 3 things that we were both good at, then I don't follow them. And some of y'all, if we're friends, go see if I follow you or not. And that will tell you, we can still be friends, but if I follow you, it'll tell you if you're in that. I think everybody on here, I do follow. Do one for what you can do for 1,000. Yeah. And I've honestly taken that advice. And it's hard when you are a consultant, especially when you hit director. And if any of you've never hit director, there is this pressure once you hit director to step up and do these things that not everybody does, but just to have more of a presence and to send out all these things. And what we learned from it is that's not what people really wanted. They didn't really want all the things. They wanted some recognition, and they just wanted to be heard, and they wanted to talk. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when Karen sends me something, I'm like a little kid. I'm ripping it open, even when it has Megan's name on it. But like, she can do that, right? Because she's got a successful team and she's built her empire. But on my level, I have to take it, and I can look up to Karen. I can look up to Amy Dernan, who's my star director. But the things that they're doing, I'm doing one step below each one of those. That way, I don't even get, I'm not trying to be on their level just yet. And I'm not spending the budgets that they have just yet, because I haven't made it there yet. One day when I get there, if I ever get there, then I will. But I would encourage you to go through and unfollow or unfriend people within this company who you don't have the same principles, morals, values, and they're not on the same path that you're on. It's great to have people that you look up to. I have a few of them on there that I follow. And there are some people that I thoroughly enjoy just watching their lives. Like Amanda, I've met her. We haven't met in person, but I enjoy watching her daughters cheer and go through that whole competition, because it relates back to my past. But I like watching people like that. And we have a lot of the same morals and values. So I look up to her, and it helps me keep going. And then when I see her post about things, they're not really salesy. She's real about things, and that's what I like. We are going to make those posts that are, like I said, that generic cookie cutter one. Guilty of it. But if you aren't finding your identity within your business and you're not finding what you're actually good at, you have to find the you in your business. We've changed what we were and what we were good at a few different times since we started. When we first started, we always did, we started and we blew up during COVID doing mystery bags. Everybody wanted two things during COVID. They wanted a Scentsy mystery bag in this area, and they wanted those dang pearls. Pearls, I don't know, they just took off. And I even bought some pearls because it's like, oh, it's a pearl. Why not? They're opening them live, right? So we did mystery bags. We did it in a compliant way, and that's what we were known for. And then as COVID ended, we had to shift and start with different things. So we did gift baskets, and we started getting into the realtor market. And as that started to die down, because the housing, people are still selling houses, but they're not selling houses like they were a year and a half ago. As that started to die off, we started going back to our roots, because we actually did start really doing with vendor events first, small vendor events. So then we shifted to vendor events and doing larger vendor events and finding who we were again in our business and what made us unique. So we've had several different things that made our business unique, and you don't have to stick to one thing. But when I'm out there, I don't get compared to any consultant that's around us, because we're constantly changing. If I see another consultant doing something, even if it's working, a lot of times I will stay clear of it because it's working for them. It doesn't need to be my bread and butter, because 9 times out of 10, especially if it's in this area, people, we all kind of share customers. If they see a good deal, they're going to jump to that. So I try to stand back. If I see somebody posting something, if it doesn't work for them, then I may try it. But a lot of times I'll just kind of go for what I know. I explained last night on a call about a flower special. We do it once a year, and it's an amazing price point for our customers. But we do a flower special once a year, and everybody knows that, like, when we do this flower special, you better get your flowers, because you'll never get them for this cost again for the rest of the year. And so we sold 70 something flowers. I think it was 72 flowers. And that's why our office is a mess right now. But that's what we're known for. And to me, that's part of like that whole giving back, treating everybody equally. Anybody can have the sale, not just our normal customers. Whoever wants it, they can come in and get it. But also giving back to our customers. It's kind of a way of showing them appreciation. You can get these flowers for this cost. It's the absolute cheapest you can do it. And the breakdown is basically the way I get it so cheap is because I'm using product credit and all this other stuff. But I do that once a year. And y'all, I may say that I'm doing a flower special, but when I tell them it's 3, 4, a special price and it won't get any lower, our customers know. We do have a generic flower special that we do, but it's not like the one that we do annually. So I think that finding little things like that, in the past, we've done, we were kind of everybody's Easter basket people, and everybody used to come to us for Easter baskets. I'll be honest, this year we sold zero Easter baskets. And for us, I'm talking about anywhere from 50. The first year we did it, I think we did 60 or 70 Easter baskets for people. And this year, none in 4 years. But I sold 72 flowers. I'll be completely honest. It was so much easier to sell these flowers, to put those in a bag and for people to either pick them up or to drop them off that live in my area, than to make all these Easter baskets and have to buy all this candy and run around. I kept it simple, and that's how I'm making my money. Check your phone battery. I still have a good percentage on there. Other things. Some things that make you are your experiences. And a lot of people don't want to share their experiences or the things that they have been through. But I am, and if you've ever met me, I'm a completely open book. My wife hates it sometimes because I say everything. You ask me a question and I'll answer it. I don't hold anything back. I was raised that way, though. I was raised that if people ask you something, you should never do anything that you're ashamed of to where you wouldn't want to repeat it. And I tell my kids that all the time. If you're doing something and you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, you know that you shouldn't be doing it if you wouldn't want me to find out about it. I think that the mistakes that I've made in life, if I can share my story with people and share the mistakes I've made, maybe they won't make the same mistakes that I've made. And if I tell them the things that I've accomplished by making those mistakes, maybe they do need to make the same mistakes, but they can figure that out, because that's how I got to where I am in life today. Oh, they're kissing. So your experiences mean a lot to other people. And if you're willing to open up and share that with people, honestly, that is a huge part of your business. If you can open up and tell people who you are, where you're from, where you came from, from start to finish, and you're okay with that, you're 10%, y'all. You're basically setting them up to, honestly, especially on a social media side of it, or even through text messaging, if your customers feel like you're being real and they can relate to you, they're going to come back to you. However, if they feel like the only time you're talking to them is to get a sale, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to see them back. And that's just, if you can't relate to people, I'm like that. I don't buy from people that I can't relate to. I like buying from small business owners who are doing the same things that we are. I will spend $91 every time somebody sells nothing but cakes for a fundraiser, because I know that started in a little cake shop, and now it's blown up, which is amazing. But also that child is out there trying to just raise money for their kid. And I was that kid one day, a long time ago, but I was that kid. And when my kids sell, I want them to come and buy from me. So plug in. I know. I'm getting all the messages. So yeah, nothing but cakes.
Alex, so yeah. I plugged mine in. I was like, okay, for now.
I was like, stop messaging him. It's draining his battery.
Here's the other thing, and I'll move. Y'all remember the last time I did a Zoom and I moved, this whole desk flipped over, so I don't want to do that, but I'll move that way I can find a battery charger. I know where one is, and my dogs may bark. But the other thing is that I wanted to share too is, don't be afraid of failure. If you are not failing at life, you're not living your life. I mean, that is 100% honest. Like the best advice that I can give anyone is fail and feel good about when you fail. A lot of people don't. I mean, there are some things that I've failed at, and then I went into like Great Depression. Like, you would have thought that the stock market was going to collapse because it was like the greatest depression of all times. But it's okay to fail. And if you're not failing, you're not learning anything. So in a business, you have to fail. You have to do things that you think are great ideas and learn from them when they really aren't. Done it plenty of times. And my wife told me, this is a bad idea. And I went, oh no, Megan, trust me, I'm the businessman. And guess what? They were horrible ideas and they plummeted. But then I found a way to, pick myself back up and come up with a better idea. And because I've fallen on my face before, I didn't want that to happen again. So I planned better. I put more time into what we were doing. And then we've done events or parties, online parties or fundraisers so much better because we failed. And so if you haven't failed, like I said, you need to start doing it a little more often. And honestly, I think that's how I've learned the most, and how I can tell my team, like when people join, I tell them, hey, you really should come and get with me, or we need to spend some time on the phone or on a Zoom. That way you don't do the same things that I did, because I don't want anyone to have to go through the same mistakes that I made when I first started the business. Oh, here's a phone charger, y'all. Sorry, I'm running through the house, but I have to go back to my paper too. I told Karen that this wouldn't happen, and she was like, "Oh, it's okay if you ramble." All right. So next thing, you have to be adaptable and to find you in your business. You as a person change. We all change, and that's okay. You as a person, you're going to change. Your life is going to change. The things around you are going to change. People die, honestly. People were born into this world, and then people are gone, right? So that's a huge part of everyone's business, is you have a turnover rate, within teams, within customers. Customers die, like not literally. Some of them do. Had that happen. But customers die out and they kind of fizzle out, and then they may come back to you. But you have to be okay to let that customer go, move on, and then replace them with a new customer. That's always my goal. And every time we sign up, I have this bad habit of signing up our best customers. And then they turn into like rock stars and almost put me out of business. But then I have to remember, like, they're killing it, right? And I have to find myself, and I had to find me a new best customer. So it's almost like a challenge. The first time we did it, Megan was like, "What are you doing? Why would you do that?" And I was like, "Trust me, it's going to work out." And it did. And that loyal customer turned into one of our best consultants, who's still with us now. And she's actually quit and come back like 7 times. But she's a really good friend of mine. And whenever she texts me and is like, "Hey, I'm coming back again," I'm like, "All right, come on, Laura." So just continue to adapt and change. And above all else, keep it simple. You don't have to have all the fluff. I have recently gone to simplifying everything, and people thought I was crazy when I showed them this, and I'll show you all this. Like, I used to have the stickers, and I don't see one in here, which is good because that means I sold all the old bars. But we used to have the fanciest stickers in the world, right? And now this is our sticker. We used to have the colored ink and the Megan's face on it and all this other stuff. And now this is our sticker. It's literally half of an address label. So I don't even use a whole address label anymore on our stickers. It's half of one with our website, with a QR code, Megan's name, and then her phone number. We split our business. So she's on that 1099. Season for simplification for everybody. But she's on that 1099, so her name and telephone number gets to go on everything. But when I looked at cost and the time that it was taken, I was like, what are people actually getting out of her face being on this? And the answer was nothing, to be totally honest. They need a name, they need a website, they need a telephone number. That's all they need. We threw the QR code on there just for just in case somebody wanted to scan it if they needed something else. But now this is what goes on everything, and it actually goes on things a lot better than those long, double the size labels. So highly recommend simplifying your label if you have not done so. Now, I do have some of the bougie ones. It's cool. I only put those on warm. Oh, they're right here. I only put those on warmers, but this is why I switched labels, right? So if you were to get one of these, look how busy this is. It looks great. It's got Megan's face on it. It's got a QR code. It's got a little iPhone, and it's on our website. It's got all the things, right? Contact me today. Scan this QR code. It's got all that stuff on it. But when I see this is just plain simple, and it leads me to everything I need to know. And the QR code is actually a lot easier to scan. So I definitely would encourage you to go through and simplify everything right now. The main thing to that too is you don't know if anybody's ever going to need it, but if they do need your information, it's always there. And if they don't need it and they just throw the clamshell away, they're throwing your money away that you're spending that's coming out of your pocket. And these are super cheap when you buy them in bulk. But again, my budget and your budget may be two different things. This I feel that anybody can afford. It's black ink and it's not even a full label. You just cut them in half. We used to cut, when we first started, we did our samples like that. And so I don't even I've even simplified samples to where a cotton cleanup, if you buy a warmer, like that's what they're getting with a little thing on it. We send out whiffs, washer whiffs always. And then we may send out, and I was talking to Melanie about this last night, a normal paper towel with some all-purpose solution, like watered down. Do you know how many samples that you can make with a normal paper towel folded, stuffed inside a Mylar little bag, and then you just pour a little bit in, like hundreds out of one container? You don't have to buy the bougie napkins, towels, reusable things, because at the end of the day, they're just going to wipe their counter with it and throw it away. They're not going to wring it out and reuse that napkin. You don't do it at home, so why would they? So why buy that expensive product? I've had people who actually thought our sponges were that we put dish soap on was the actual product. Even though it said dish soap on it, they thought that I was selling sponges with the soap in them. So from that point, I had to, I figured that one, I stopped doing dish soap at that point. And maybe that's why they stopped producing it. But I stopped doing dish soap at that point because I didn't want people to be confused. Even though it had a big label, if I'm the consumer, I had to think about how they were just pulling it out and not really reading and just using it. So I went back to just simplicity. Like I said, a cotton cleanup, we use all-purpose cleaner. We do washer whiffs, and I only do 1 scent now, which is Jammy Time. That's it, no other scent, only Jammy Time. If you've never used it, I promise you, Jammy Time will change your life, especially the body cream. Hit those elbows and those knees, because some of y'all I see are a little ashy. So trust me, try it. One thing that you need to buy, Jammy Time body cream. Let's see, keep it simple. Oh, last thing. If you're not enjoying your business, people see that. If you look miserable while you're doing your business, people see that. And nobody's ever going to want to buy from you or join you if you look miserable. If you're making it look hard and it doesn't look like it's fun, because it's not, then you got to find something else. It's your time to pivot. Maybe you have to look at the way you're doing your business. Maybe you have to look at how you're trying to sell product. Maybe you're selling the wrong product because, and I'm not talking about like going to another company. I'm talking about maybe you're trying to sell the wrong product that we offer. Maybe your consumers actually want wax. Maybe your consumers need more pods because they have animals in the house and you're not telling them that pods don't spill and leak everywhere. Maybe they need just clearance items because they can't afford these full price products. So maybe you need to shift them over to the clearance section and show them all the amazing things that are in the clearance section. You have to be able to look like you're having fun though, and not just look like. You actually have to have fun. When you're not having fun and your life's a mess inside of your business, people don't want to come in. I've had my life on outside of my business be a complete crap show, right? But my business side of it, I kept it all together so that we kept our customers, we kept growing. Through some of the worst times, this business has, we've stayed who we were and stayed true to who we were. And during some of the worst times and the darkest times of my life, I've had people who are on the Zoom now stand beside me and my wife and support us. And people in my community and my customers do the same thing because we were real. We were vocal. We told people what we were going through, and you don't have to put all your business out there to your customers. That's just me. Like I said, like Megan hates it because somebody's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, oh, I haven't slept in 3 days. I have insomnia, PTSD. I don't know what's going on. I take 13 pills a day. Like that's me, like straight up. Don't really care what people think. But at the end of the day, even people who say they don't care what people think, you really do care what people think when you lay down in bed, right? Like everybody's, even when you do something that is just off the handle and you know you're right, when you lay down in bed at night, you're like, I didn't do the right thing. Like I still feel bad about doing, even though I was in the right, I still feel bad about doing that. But like I said, let me jump back over. If you don't look like you're enjoying it, then people aren't going to want to follow you. I do believe that. I look at people's businesses all the time with our own team, and they ask me, like, I'm not selling anything. And I'm like, well, it doesn't look like you use the products. And I don't ask people to buy in to products or bulk buy or any of that. But if you're not using what came in that starter kit, y'all, you can even take your samples and pop them out of those little containers, your testers, and put them in your warmer and talk about how good that sample smells. You don't have to buy every bar to know what it smells like in a warmer. You have your testers. You can pop some of it out. You can pop half of it out and throw it in a warmer and tell somebody what it smells like, or give that sample to them or that tester to them, and do the same thing. So don't think that you have to spend a lot of money to look happy or to feel confident in your business. If you are ever looking for suggestions on what to do, I highly recommend following the Scent Warriors page, and not just following it as in like, I get on there when I see that, it's Thursday at 12 o'clock because things are posted. I mean, following it as in interact with other people on these lives or on these Zooms. Meet other people who are like you that can lift you up. I have some of the best friends of my life because of that. They know me. They know when I'm down. Vicky will send me a message really quick and be like, why did you just get off the Zoom? What's wrong with you? You left really quick and you didn't say bye. Like, what's wrong? Like, can read me like a card. And I told her to make sure that Ed knew, her husband, that it's scary how well she knows me. And we've only met once. But Vicky knows me almost better than my wife does sometimes. And Melanie's the same way. She can tell me. And we've only done one cruise together in about, 100 drinks or so. But, I've made these friends from interacting on pages and interacting on these Zooms. And if you didn't get anything out of tonight, I'm sorry, but that's really all I have. But I do want to say again, interact with the people who are here, find your community, get rid of those people who it looks great and it might be there one day, but don't put yourself on the same pedestal that other people are. Like, find you in your business because you're the one that's doing it.
That was super great. And if someone didn't have a takeaway, they weren't listening. That was
Just
good.
ramble.
You did not just ramble.
Amen.
You had content. Nice try.
Yeah.
Try that again. Yeah, you didn't just ramble. You had content. That was fantastic. Thank you.
I didn't even realize Vicky was on here.
Oh, she's on here. Yeah, she's commenting. If you guys have any questions for Alex, as you know, he's an open book, and I'm sure he'd love to answer regardless of what the question is. I will stop the recording though, so that who knows what you're going to ask.